Well, hello, my cooking friends. It's Sarah Bergen coming to you from someone else's kitchen today. I am with the Karen Chair Thrift Shops in Souderton, and here is one of Karen Chair's founders, Janet Vincent.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. So you may be wondering, what is the thrift shop doing a cooking show for? So let me just give you a little quick peek into why we do this. During the pandemic, we started interacting with our customers and our donors and our volunteers when we were closed, and we developed a cooking show using the 3 cookbooks that our charity has put out, Mennonite Central Committee, MCC. This one's 50 years old, actually, and the More with Less cookbook was followed then by Extending the Table, and more recently, right around 2000, this Simply in Season came out. And I have always been a big fan of the More with Less cookbook. It is just a treasure, and I thought, during the pandemic, it has these interesting recipes in it that don't require a lot of complex items. So we started doing that twice a week about a year and a half ago, and now we're down to once a month. So if you like the cooking show and you want to get on the next one, it's always the first Tuesday of every month. Oh, and yes, I thought you were going to tell me someone wanted to talk to me. And today the interns are not with us, so we miss the interns typically. We have Suzanne helping with our filming. Say hello, Suzanne.
Hey, everybody.
Okay. And Suzanne is the volunteer manager at Karen Chair, so she'll surely be interjecting as well. And all of these cooking shows were sponsored by Landis Supermarkets. We're very grateful for their support. Here's our little logo for Landis. So thank you very much for all their great items. I just love the stuff that they sell there, and they always have great produce and meats and other good things, and so we love going there. So today we're going to go to page, because they like to know the page, Janet. This is always very important. We're going to start with the tomatoes stuffed with spinach, and this is on page 238. So you have to come in and give them a quick little look over of this. And this is not a complicated dish at all. What we have going here are 6 tomatoes that have already been, I did the boring part ahead of time. I took out all the insides of it. And this is a beautiful time of year to try this recipe because tomatoes are really at their peak. And I want to give a shout out to R&J Farms on Allentown Road because I got these tomatoes there today and they're really, really luscious looking. So we're going to take the tomatoes, and then we take 2 cups of cooked spinach. I'll get right
Joanna says hello.
Oh, hello.
Good evening.
Hello. Melted butter, salt, and an onion minced. And it didn't seem to make enough with the spinach, and I think my tomatoes are too big, so I decided to go ahead and add some red beans to that. So I'm going to fill these while Janet and I have a little chat after Suzanne tells me something.
Grace English says, so glad to see you back on the air.
Oh, these are the fans now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes,
Wonderful.
we have a bit of a fan club.
Well, that's good.
Yes,
I
know.
That.
Right. Well, I'm a big fan of yours, Janet. Janet is a real dynamo that helped get the thrift shop going. And I don't want to give away the whole story here, Janet, because I really want you to tell it. But back in
1974.
Yeah.
I'm going back to 1974, but before I get started, I just want to say how grateful I am to the Lord for leading my life in so many avenues after my husband died and Norm and I met, and from there on and things, and I never wanted to say no to anything when something came along, but if I would have said no to a few things, my life wouldn't be as rich as it is now, and I'm just grateful for that. So thank you to everybody, to the Lord.
That is so inspirational. I need to remember that. Like when I want to say no to something, I need to say, now what would Janet do?
What would Janet do?
Janet would say yes.
Well, Janet, in 1974,
yes.
I guess was only 38 years old at that point,
yes.
I was elected to be president of the Women's Missionary Society, the WMSC.
Okay.
At that point, the churches then were doing there'd be a meeting and they'd say, oh, how many diapers are you going to do for this church, or how many robes or bibs are you going to do for this church? I said, wow, this is nonsense. This is a waste of time. We're going to divide up these churches.
Okay,
so we did that.
Okay. So the church, there's more than Mennonites listening. So these are the local Mennonite churches.
The local Mennonite churches, yeah.
All right.
So, about, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so after that, I got a knock on the door or a phone call from, would you hand me that picture there?
And before you keep going, I have to say, a lot of people are saying hello.
So
Marilyn
Marilyn
Helm is saying good
Hi,
evening.
Marilyn. Hello.
Krista Karcher, of course,
Krista's
she'll
a
be in
volunteer,
shortly Thursday to do some clothes. Carla.
Oh, hi, Carla.
Is
Carla
traveling
Myers. Oh, wow.
traveling show tonight, she said.
Yes.
And Ian says hello.
Oh, okay.
And Krista says she'll be in Thursday.
Okay,
So-
great. Well, thank you for
that's
making
nice.
time.
Thank
Isn't that
you.
nice?
Yeah.
See, you're a superstar already.
Oh, dear. Well, we had a knocker phone call. I don't know which it was, and it was Wayne Clemens, and it was Walton Hackman.
Hold that
And-
still so we can see him.
So
Bob-
there's Wayne Clemens, and there's Walton Hackman,
And
and there's
Robert-
Janet.
And Robert Kratz,
who's
who
not
was
there.
not on this picture, because this
Right.
picture is from something else. And they asked Norm and I, and this is a picture of us back in 1975. Over there,
here.
our whole family.
Look at that family.
Lovely.
It's from the church book.
Yeah, from the church book,
I love that picture.
1975.
I love that picture, Janet. It's great. Yeah?
If we would be willing to go on a trip across the United States and all across Canada to look at thrift shops, because that was just the beginning of the thrift shop. Because, the donations were coming in fur coats and things that the people in Africa could not use. And the thrift shops were already starting up in Canada. So our first one was out to the St. Vincent's de Paul in Phoenix. And that was a tremendous big store, because they had one store where they even just did furniture. We did furniture and everything.
And that was a really big deal then.
That
That
was a
was
big
like,
deal.
like no one else was doing that.
Right. So then we went on up to Saskatchewan and went there to, we got the plane to Mennonite, North Dakota, and then went to Saskatchewan. And they were surprised when the people, when they met us at the airport, the little airport it was, they looked at us surprisingly. We thought, what in the world's going on? And they said, oh, we thought some old Mennonites were coming. And here we were like 35 or 38, I'm 45. But here, they were not used to hearing the new Mennonite, like we say here, and the old Mennonite conference. They weren't used to that in Canada.
So they were expecting
fun.
like head coverings
They were expecting
and plain
that,
dresses
yeah.
and not fashionable Janet.
Well, now there's a couple people on here, Janet, that are talking to you. Of course,
dear.
we have Anne who's saying good evening.
Hello.
She misses everybody.
Aw.
But Lowell Delp has said,
My son-in-law.
uh-huh. Lowell Delp, hello. I have enjoyed countless meals from that kitchen. Cheryl Blum from,
Elkhart, Indiana.
yes, she says, hi, Janet from Goshen.
Oh, that's so sweet, Janet.
And
How's Ron doing?
Oh, well, how's Ron doing?
Aw.
We have Susie Barrett. Janet, great to see you on Sarah's show. Love to you.
Oh, thank you.
that's
So
Right,
look at all these wonderful people who know who you are. Okay, continue with your story.
You keep
So-
talking. I'm listening.
So we went to that thrift shop, and don't you know, it was in the bottom of a barber shop, a little store. So we thought, wow. So we toured that, and there were a lot of Russian Mennonites there. So we got a lot of good Russian Mennonite, like plum mousse and recipes from there. Then we were there for a few days, went to their fairs and learned about the community. Then we went over to Winnipeg, traveled then to Winnipeg, and there was a Justine Berger who was very involved with all the shops in Canada. She was in charge of them all, and that was a larger place. And again, we had a wonderful stay there. But then we traveled on to, we were going to Canada about 1 week. We went over to Toronto, Ontario.
Yeah.
There's still many shops.
There are.
And so then we looked at that, and when we were done with that, we knew, yes, it's a go in Salterton. We can do it. It was so exciting, and they were so enthused. And the one lady is, I guess Norm was in the front or I was in the back, it doesn't matter, but the lady from there that was driving, she said, it's nothing but caring and sharing. Norm said, that's the name of the store.
There you go.
Care and share. So we come back and we said to these guys, to the men here, yes, it's a go. So the big helpers at that point were Harold and Myrtle Minninger. They helped with everything. They really did. And Myrtle and I would help.
Is this Myrtle in the middle here?
No, she's not on this. They
all
are
right.
not on this picture. We gathered hangers, and the donations start coming in. And then Norm, he was working for Clemens Markets at that time, and he had a lot of know-how to go to different shopping centers. So he knew at that shopping center where it is now, there was a Roxy drugstore, and that Roxy drugstore was no bigger than.
Oh, I have these photos so we can have a look at this at some point. These are interesting pictures of the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little drugstore in the middle here that was empty. And so he went to Mr. Durrell, and Mr. Durrell, Norm said about what we wanted to do, and Mr. Durrell was very enthusiastic about that right off from the minute. And the rent was hardly anything. I mean, we could have almost had it free. Then Norm said, but this store is way too big for this. And Mr. Durrell says, oh no, he said, I'm giving you the other half for free. You don't even have to pay rent because I know you will have it full.
That's amazing. That is such a God gift right there, Janet.
And Mr. Durrell gave, he had Norm come over to his house and he gave him this beautiful suit you ever saw in your life. And so that started our shop, and I would go every day, and look what Sarah found, the book of the receipts from
the day.
Oh my stars! I gotta look at that close.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I mean, one day we did like $93, but one whole month of March of '76 we did $3,667.
Okay, can I stop this story there because we do need to move on? I want to come back.
Well,
come back.
I do want to tell you that Millie Trogger says hello to both of you.
Millie's
Lowell says
Yes.
Brenda is watching as well, but can't sign in from her phone. I am watching from the Poconos, and she is watching from Dock Acres.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then
Janet, you're going to be
Dale-
so autographs. Let me tell you.
Dale Williams says, hi, Mom. This is Bev and Dale. Fun pictures.
Oh, that's nice.
I think more people are tuning in to watch you today, Jen.
I think they are. It's perfectly
Well, when you have
fine.
7 children, 10 grandchildren, 20 great-grandchildren, right?
That's
goes really
beautiful.
fast,
So I just want to tell people the other item that we're making before we continue with this story, because there's more about this book we want to talk about. On 152, we're going to make this thing called Swiss eggs. And I know it's well, I picked it because Janet thinks she's of Swiss heritage.
Well, not thinks. It's
She
in the Clemens
knows.
book.
It's like back to what,
1690.
1690.
Well, and also I had to race home from school every night. My sister Nancy and I and my brother Abe, we had to clean all the eggs. So this is just perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
goes right with it.
So the Swiss eggs have a TS, which means time saver in the More with Less cookbook. What we're doing is we're taking grated Swiss on the bottom, and I've never made this before, so we're going to see what this all is about. We make 6 depressions in cheese and then slide an egg into each depression.
Oh dear.
I know.
We're going to bake them, I hope.
Yes, we are going to bake them. So I'm going to start doing that while Janet is still talking.
Marilyn May says hello.
Oh, good.
So what other amazing thing it brings back a memory about this book? Remember you were telling me about the churches.
Yes. Back to when I was the president or whatever they call them, and we divided the church. We went to each one of the churches then too to talk about the thrift shop and see how involved they would be in helping. And out of the 31 churches, only one church, and I don't even remember the thing.
And that's good. We don't need to remember. No, we don't need to
said, no, this is not going to be successful. We will not give. But they did give later on. But in this book, then, it says about the donations of the church. They gave toward the rent every month. They, gave toward the rent. Like some was $10, some was $15, and $10. But it helped to pay the rent for us because we had no income and we had rent to pay.
Right.
So
I think that's just amazing. We still to this day have churches involved as volunteers who have been volunteering for a very, very long time, a set day each month in the clothing shop. And now those volunteers are retiring, and so we're looking for some other people to step up into their shoes for sure. So Karen Share really wouldn't be where it is today if it wasn't for the support of our local church community.
Exactly right.
Yeah. I think we should show, this photo is of the WM, right? That's that committee, the WMC. Right. So here we go. Let's show this
now,
picture.
while I look at this photo, just a couple more comments, because everybody's on today.
Everybody, you're increasing our ratings.
Debbie Freed says, good to see you both. I've missed you.
Debbie Freed,
Sarah
she's so sweet.
Alarcon.
That's Sarah.
Okay. She's got a neat little emoji with hearts all around it. And then Melissa Cameron. Hi, Mom.
Janet.
Hi, Mom.
My granddaughter out in California.
Yep, you look beautiful.
Oh, wow.
Now check out Grandma in this picture. My mom in this picture. Oop, I can't.
Isn't that amazing? I love that picture. Love it.
All sitting
I love
at
how
the table.
modern Janet looks. But Janet, your dress almost matches the drapes.
Yep.
It does. So I didn't know it was going to happen that day. I would have figured it out differently. So, but you can get this one here.
Yeah.
That one's better.
Okay. All right. So we were back talking about the churches, and then where are we going from the story next?
Well, I think then how we started, and then I'll never. And Norma, he always tells the story when we were, and he got all the different display booths. He would go down to Philadelphia in the supermarkets and get things. Even Horn and Harlot, he went down to Horn and Harlot and got some display things down there. And then as we journeyed on, I would be there every day with a little tin box with money, and I'd go home with the money and every night, and write it in the book here, how much we made and everything else. So, and then journeying on was Wayne Clemens. At one point, he always had the ideas of enlarging everything. One day he comes to us and he said, "You know what? These stores are just too tight. We got to move on." So he knew that Grant's was going out of business. How about if we take over the Grant store? We said, "What?" So we did. And then that was very successful. And then down the road further was how we got the Acme, and we almost didn't get the Acme because they said they weren't going to sell it. But then Henry Rosenberg or a couple of people got together and went over that that agreement and realized they could only stay there if they had it as a store, not a storehouse. So they had to sell it to us. So we did.
So I'm pouring a quarter cup of cream over this.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, you think so? I think this is getting more bizarre all the
now,
time.
Melissa says, "Oh wow," but I think probably from what you look like with the curtains, drapes, dress.
Okay.
She's giggling.
Dear.
So it is really, Karen Chair really is like a real community place.
Right.
I mean, and that's why I say you're one of the founders, because we had many, many people making it happen, for sure.
Yeah, because when I came back, let me tell you, if it wasn't for Walton Hackman and Wayne and Bob Kratz, they were the instigators of the whole thing, and they're the ones that we had to report to, and we said yes, we could do it, and so we did.
So I have to sprinkle the rest of the cheese on the top of this. So this is going well, Janet. This is like, you're not having really to cook anything.
No, I know. You're going to come anytime and cook. I don't cook so much anymore.
So I'm going to let your voice get a little catch up here, because I want to remind people that this coming Friday at Karen Chair, we featured the flyer in the beginning. We're doing a food collection for Keystone Opportunity Center from 4 to 7 p.m. So what happens is Keystone brings their trailer. They set it up in front of the furniture shop. We ask you to bring non-perishable, so it could be laundry detergent or it could be a can of beans. And for each item you bring, we give you $1 off coupon for the shop.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So we're like helping you, and you're helping us help Keystone. We try to have our food drives during times of the year where there's real need, like this. And after everything that's happened with Ida and all this other fun stuff more recently, there is some real need in our community. So we appreciate your support with that. That's from 4 to 7 p.m. on Friday. Yes.
Well, Melissa says the boys all say hi, Mama.
Oh, hi everybody.
Aw,
Thank
so
you
sweet.
for your greetings.
Aw, and then Laura Riviera says hi, Sarah.
Hey,
Hello,
Laura.
Sarah.
All right, I'll be back in the photo in a minute. I'm just turning the I'm putting the eggs in.
And Melissa also says we're watching together.
Oh, that's
Dale Williams says Bev and Dale from Florida. So much fun to hear.
right. Tell them I miss them.
Aw.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look at that myself. Okay, so
Can we talk about this?
can I get going one more minute? I have to got one more thing. So normally
So much
we
to
focus
say.
only on these 3 cookbooks. We have been very true to the event, but tonight, because Sarah doesn't like to waste any food. That's my thing. And I don't like to waste food. I think we need to be good stewards of our food. So what I have found, I want to show a recipe, a book that I use a lot in my house is this one. And they no longer publish this. So you can get these back issues in the in the bookshop for 59 cents.
Wow.
But I love Martha Stewart. Like she's all right by me. And these recipes are really simple and easy. And
Hey, everybody. I think I've turned myself around.
Oh, hello. You're saying hello?
I'm to myself.
Oh,
There we go.
So a recipe that I like to make with the leftover tomatoes whenever I make tomatoes is this one at the bottom here. I'm going to butcher this pan con... What do you think that is?
I don't know. I can't see it.
Tomate, something like that.
Tomate.
And all it is you take the tomatoes as they are in the bowl. You get some nice rustic bread like this. We're going to spread this on top of here, olive oil, salt, and pepper.
Ooh,
We're going to put it in the oven. There you go. So now you can talk about the picture. So people can watch me doing this while you talk. Go ahead.
In this picture is a Walton Hackman. You need to come closer. Can you see?
Oh, I can.
And then
I'm doing a lot of in and out today.
Me, and then a couple people from Akron, and then the Kellers, and then Wayne, and this fellow also is from, who was his name, John Hostetler, from MCC, still very much involved.
Yep.
And Musselman, Russell Musselman.
Russell.
And this is our first $10,000 to MCC in October 5th of 77.
Wow.
So we did well over those first couple of years.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. Absolutely. That's
And
fantastic.
paying the rent but then again, I don't think there were any paid. There weren't any
paid staff.
No
Everybody
paid
was
staff.
volunteer. Yep. It's an amazing achievement. Now, Janet, all that hard work you did in the beginning really just set Karen Share up for such success. I mean, what are we at now? Year 46? Is that right? Yeah, 46 years. $19 million later, Janet.
I know, it's unbelievable, but...
All because of all the work of these 30-year-olds. I mean, the thing,
No, really, but, I mean, you have to have the spirit behind... And, you know, we are so blessed in this community. Like,
we are.
My brother is really involved with the Resource Center, you know, and they help out too. And our whole family, MCC was one of our just gifts, and that spirit hopefully went off into the community, not just in our homes, but in everybody. So, like when we used to have all the, at Blooming Glen, had all the orientations there, you know, for the they were trainees at that point. Now they're international visitors.
Right.
But that spirit of MCC just goes through your heart, goes through your spirit. It really does, and you can't help but want to be grateful and helpful and support them.
I'm coming back around.
And Norm, I remember Norm said too, the one.
Norm, your husband.
The Norm, first. There's more Norms around. Many of them. I was going to say, the first night that we weren't open, they were stocking shelves, and a family came in, and he tells his story so often. It was a mother with her little children, and they were able to get completely fitted with, I don't know if it was winter clothes or all clothes, and they said, what do we owe you? And he said, you owe us nothing.
I remember him telling that story, and he had such passion about what you guys were doing at the time. He was in tears, and it's a story that has stuck with me.
He'll never forget that.
Now I have a couple more comments. Anne says the Swiss egg would make a great breakfast dish.
It would. We're having breakfast for dinner.
Well,
Tony says, hello all.
Hello.
Melissa says,
Tony's a volunteer that's moved to Florida.
Yep.
So he connects with us this way.
Great, Tony.
Yeah.
What a wonderful history, says Melissa Cameron. And of course, Carla said, hi, Suzanne, because I flipped the thing around on myself. Silly me. Hello, Carla.
It's all right. You're doing a great job for your first time at this, Suzanne.
Yeah, I'm probably flopping all over the place. So if I drop the phone, I'm so sorry.
But one of your best and longest volunteers, I think, was my first mother-in-law, Ann Aldifer.
Okay.
And she just passed away at 109.
That is true.
Just before Christmas. And she was there, I mean, I don't know what all she did. I think she sorted the buttons but she worked till she was in her late 90s.
Yes, that is very true.
Yeah, she
did have the pleasure to meet her.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we have many volunteers that are post the time that they, I would say 70s, 80s, 90s, even into 100. So it's wonderful community to be a part of as well.
Well,
as Wayne Clemens would like to say, because this is something Wayne said to me. He's like, folks hear a sermon on Sunday and they need someplace to serve on Monday, and that's what Karen Share is.
that's good.
Isn't that good?
That is true.
That's the truth.
It's true.
That's the truth. And we're very blessed that we're able to turn it around, and it really comes from a generous community.
It does.
I mean, today we saw that we needed to close for a few weeks because we were a little overwhelmed with donations, and we didn't have enough volunteers to help process them.
Just the donations.
Just the donations
closed.
we were closed. But now they're reopened, and today everybody just came by.
And their brother's, cousin's, son's, daughter's, nephew.
Yes, it's all good. We appreciate that support. So we know we are loved. We are very blessed that way. In the bigger picture, Janet, there are now, how many thrift shops in Canada? There are about 49.
I would say total between U.S. and Canada, there's around 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's an even break pretty much between the two countries that support MCC. And annually they give about $16 million to MCC. So
I
it's
know,
a
it's a
big
great-
shot in the arm.
Well,
to them.
yeah, you know, remember the time it started that, what was her name, Edna Bauer, where she'd go around with the things in the trunk of her car.
Oh, yes.
You know, and
Oh, yeah.
The embroidered things in Puerto Rico.
Right, for
And that's how that
10,000
started,
villages.
too. That's
Yes.
how 10,000 villages started.
Right. And they're
Yeah.
celebrating a big anniversary this year, too. I think it's 75.
Wow.
Yeah. Huh.
And it's just so heartwarming, and, you know, when you feel, you know, you can be of good to somebody, but like I say, the whole thing was we were sending fur coats to Africa, and somebody said, wow, they use
Right.
money, no. And
Right.
that started back in the 70s.
Right. Very
With
good.
that up in Canada.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we do know that our community was hit pretty hard with Ida most recently, and we also know that some churches and other business people are helping to settle refugees. Karen Share is all about supporting both of those situations. So if there is a need that you know about, we ask that a pastor, a social worker, a school counselor, someone who's very familiar with the situation, reach out to us at Karen Share. Just call the main office, and we are happy to support free of charge those situations as well. So we're not just about supporting MCC. We also tried to support
Oh,
those
sure. I
in
remember that
desperate
when
need.
other refugees came
Yeah.
and they could get outfitted, which was really great.
Because you know, when you're resettling a family here in our community, it's a huge effort to help people find housing. I mean, we know we have trouble with our own housing here, but yet alone folks who have limited job experience or English in this area. So we find housing and they find jobs. But you know, we can most certainly help people with clothing and other things like that for sure. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
Thank you for this opportunity. It's been fun. We've been together close,
Aw.
and Suzanne too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Laura Riviera said, "What happened to the interns?" Sorry to disappoint, Laura. They are busy. One's back doing her thing.
And the interns
others doing her
are
thing.
renegotiating their contract right now. So, yes. Are there any other questions? I'll just give a minute for the questions. We're good?
Well, in conjunction with supporting other folks, even if you come and you volunteer, you know, whether you are a church community or you are a business community, we also love to host folks like that, just because that is supporting people right here in this community as well.
Absolutely.
It's really important.
Absolutely. So we hope everyone is keeping your spirit high with the whole COVID thing going on. Know we're thinking of you. You do what you can when you can do it. So if you're not feeling comfortable coming to volunteer or to shop, don't worry. We've made it 46 years. We'll make it at least through this event for sure. But no, we're thinking of you and we miss you for sure. So our volunteers that are watching know that we are thinking of you.
Yes.
You're good. I know you're all going to be curious to know how all this turns out.
Yeah, well, I am too.
Because it smells really good in here right now. It does smell good.
Exactly.
We will post photos later on our Facebook page of the food because it's not quite done yet. It will be done soon. But you know what?
Well, Anna does say that yes, the interns are missed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I miss
Sorry,
them
Suzanne,
too.
they're
Yeah,
not like-
that's
I
okay.
have the timers in. What are you looking for? The
I
timer?
got it. Don't worry, 5, 10, 15, 20. I
We're
got
counting
it.
minutes
They
here.
took me it out. Don't worry. I have too many things going on. So we are going to sign off then. We thank everybody for watching. Thank you for supporting Karen Share. And we'll see you soon. All right. Have a good evening.
And
Bye.
you're never too young or too old, right?
Never. Never. Thank you, Janet.
It was my
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you for hosting us. Thank you. All right. Bye.
See ya.